Today I'm going to talk about the basic elements of geometry. So, let's start with the word itself. Okay, so the root here, geo, means relating to the earth. And here we have metry, and that means measurement of, which makes measurement of the earth. And that makes sense, because geometry is all about shapes and angles. So, let's start with our first term. Our first term is going to be a point, and you've probably heard of this before. So, what is a point? A point indicates a location on a plane and has no size. A point can be shown like this. We can call this one point A. We always use capital letters to label our points. Next, we have lines. Lines are straight paths extending in opposite directions with no end or thickness, and they contain an infinite amount of points. So, why don't we draw another point, which we can label point B, and then we can connect them with a line. So let's grab this color here, okay, and we'll connect them with a line. Nice. Okay, so when we draw a line, we have to make sure that we add arrows on the end, just so that people know that it's a line and not something like a line segment or a ray, which we will go over soon. So we can either call this line maybe line M, or there's another way. So here, one of our names is line M, but we could also call it line AB, because if you look at our 2 points, we have A and B. And on top of that, we would put a little line, just so people know what we're talking about. However, it can also be called line BA, because when it comes to lines, they extend in either direction, so it doesn't matter with which point you start at. So these are the 3 ways that we can label lines, and we always make sure to put this drawing of a line on top to differentiate it from line segments or rays. So speaking of, what is a line segment? Well, it is part of a line that consists 2 endpoints and all the points in between. So let's redraw our points. We're going to have point A here, and we're going to point B here. And so this time we're going to make a line segment. So we'll start at point A and we'll just connect the 2 points. Okay, so this is going to be our line segment. We can show this as maybe AB with a line on top, or BA with a line on top. So notice how we can also switch the order of the letters, but this time we do a straight line, because that'll indicate that it's a line segment and not just a line. Because if you look here, line segments have specific lengths. They do not go on forever, which is why we do not have arrows. Okay, so how about rays? Well, a ray is a part of a line with one endpoint and all the points extending towards and past the next point. So, for example, we could do something like this. We could just add an arrow on right here. So now we're going to have ray AB. So what that means is that when we label it, we could also say, wow, it's ray A to B. However, we cannot say this, because that would indicate that the line goes from B to A and continues past A. So when we're talking about rays, when we label it, we can only label it 1 or 2 ways. The second way, if we were going to say, well, we could also call this ray M, just like we did before. So we could call ray M, that works, or we could call it ray AB, but never ray BA. So points A and B are what we would call collinear points. So why don't we redraw this just so it's a little easier to see. So again, I know you might be tired of just the points A and B. We're going to point A, we're going to point B. This time we'll switch up the colors. Point B. Nice. Okay, and so we'll draw the little line connecting them. Okay, so point A and B, like I said before, are what is known as collinear points. This just means that they are on the same line. It is easy to remember because co means joint or together, and linear means line. So A and B are collinear, and I will write that right up here. Collinear. Nice. Okay, so how about this point? Why don't I add a new one right here? So how about this one? We'll call it point C. So now what? Well, these 3 points are coplanar, which means that they are all on the same plane, but not necessarily the same line. So I bet you're asking yourself right now, well, what is a plane? Well, a plane is an infinitely large flat surface with no thickness and an infinite amount of points. Think of it almost as like a piece of paper that just extends forever. So let's draw a plane around these points, and I will try to draw it the best I can. So 1, 2, 3, and then plane. Okay. So this box right here is what we would call a plane. So we need at least 3 points to identify a plane, otherwise it can be mistaken for a line. So in this case, we could call this plane ABC. We could also label in any other order, but for now I'll just do ABC. You could do CAB, ACB, really whatever you'd like. Now, we could also put a letter up here, and this time it'll be lowercase. So what if we put L? Then it could also be called plane L. Okay, great. So, we just covered the basics of Euclidean geometry. So leave any questions you have in the comments below and I will try my best to answer them. Please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next week.